Hey, everybody, it's CJ Graham. That's right, Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th, Part 6. And you're listening to Breaking the Fourth Wall.
With something for after hours because originally it was supposed to be Serenity's friend, but unfortunately he wasn't able to make it. So we'll go with what we got.
That'll work.
You know me, I'll just start talking until we have a conversation. So I'll figure out something for after hours. Oh, we're already.
I like the hat.
Yeah, I went ahead and started recording, so we can whenever you're ready, we can go ahead and get started.
Well, hell with it. You guys ain't even getting an intro today. Fuck it. We're just gonna sit here and bullshit.
Absolutely.
No,
I'm just here to hear Dawn.
That's it. Yeah, but that's why we all show up. Like we do segments just so we can hear Don's segment.
Yep.
Welcome to Breaking the Fourth Wall Weekly. I am Christopher Stolle. Joining me as always is Don Smith and Serenity Stone.
What's happening?
There you go. I'm not even going to throw a joke out there. And first and foremost, as you guys are well aware, probably because it was recording before I knew it was, we were supposed to have a special guest today to talk about the GameStop stock market issue that's been going on. And unfortunately, he is unable to make it due to a family emergency dealing with COVID. And because of which, I definitely want to give out our warmest condolences and sympathies and hope everything works out well for him and his family members. You look like you were about to say something, Serenity.
Oh, I was going to say thank you for that. I am definitely hoping that his mom doesn't get it as bad as others, but those who do have it bad, take care of yourselves. I hear hard-boiled eggs, for some reason, are very helpful with COVID, so at-home remedies might work.
It's the cholesterol.
What exactly do you have to do with them, though?
Where do you
have to place the balls gently into your mouth and
say that again.
Wait a minute. Where's my lotion?
What do you think you do with a hard-boiled egg, man?
Hey, it's strange times with COVID. I have no idea.
Last I knew with hard-boiled eggs, you dye them and hide them out in the yard, and some kid goes and looks for them.
Just some random kid?
Just some random kid.
Okay. That's weird.
You know, back in the 80s and 90s, you had the panel van and offering candy. Now you just hide Easter eggs in your yard and they come to you.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh my God.
Whatever it takes, I guess.
Right?
I looked out the door earlier and found my neighbor kid was out shoveling my sidewalk. I'm not going to pay him because I didn't hire him. So
that's
awesome.
It's good to have a neighbor kid that'll do that, though.
Well, then again, his mom and dad may have taught him that you got to just take care of the elderly.
Exactly. And I'm cool with that. I'll be old as shit if somebody does. He mowed my lawn half the summer too. So, which I paid him for that. I threw him some money.
I was about to say, did you pay him?
You threw it.
Yeah. I threw it. I made it rain. It was all ones. I was like, come here.
Gave him a Jewish roll.
I didn't make it rain a lot.
A thick stack like that, but only the top bill is a 20. The rest of them are ones.
No, the rest of them are blank pieces of paper.
Right?
Because a stack like that, even if it's ones, that's still quite a bit of money for a working man.
That is true. And since we're talking about ripping people off and being cheap, let's get into the news buffet.
Perfect. Perfect intro to that. How did we couldn't have come up with a better segue. But welcome to the news buffet. Always a good time. We're going to start off with an update from a story from, I believe, last week. Is it the
Oscar Mayer wiener?
No wieners. No. Well, I can't exactly say no wieners on this story. They'd be in a lot less trouble if they just get a room. The South Carolina couple busted earlier this month for allegedly having sex on a Myrtle Beach's landmark Ferris wheel has been arrested once again on similar public lewdness charges, according to local reports. Eric and Lori Harmon, our two good friends,
Yes.
both 36, are now accused of performing sex acts in a supermarket parking lot and on a bench near a playground. On multiple occasions over the past few months, they allegedly filmed their public liaisons to share to pornographic websites, according to police. They surrendered to authorities on the new charges Tuesday, WBTW reported. Eric Harmon faces 2 new counts of indecent exposure, and Lori Harmon faces another 4.
Damn,
She always seems to go a little bit further than he does.
I'll tell you
a trooper.
I'll tell you what, when you said our good friends, I was thinking to myself, we need to get these people on the show. until you said they were, doing it on a bench in front of a playground. And it's like, okay, no, I don't want to Google.
Right. Yeah, that's a little much.
We have our limit.
There is a limit. Yes. I will let you fuck on camera, but just don't do it in front of a playground.
Right. It's location. You can pee on a vending machine or two. I'm cool with that. Stay away from the kids, you sickos.
Jesus.
How do we know this isn't their form of income? Like there's those YouTubers that if you make a request and send them money, they'll like do daring things. Maybe there's some red tube stuff. That's your guys' domain.
You're thinking like OnlyFans. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they've got an OnlyFans, or they're doing it live on things like ChatterBait or something like that. Sure. But at the same time, it's like I'm all for spicing up locations and public displays of affection, especially if you're trying to do it for money. From like the views of perverts like us who, for some reason pay a whole lot of money to do what we had to do with our imagination anyway. But there's got to be limits. A playground, I mean.
Now I'm going to show you a picture here.
Well, this is going to be great.
Nothing like that. This is their mug shots. And you tell me if these two share the same last name, because they're brother and sister.
Oh my God.
You cut her hair, put a little scruffy beard on there. It's the same damn person.
Yeah, but if you look at this picture, you could actually read their thoughts. Like you look at him, he's like, why do I keep sticking my dick in that crazy? You look at her, she's staring at the dude in the camera like, I want to suck your dick.
Yeah.
How much would you pay?
Yeah, she's thinking, bring me a vending machine and I will piss all over it.
Why do I keep sticking my dick in crazy? Ooh, I want that dick in my crazy.
Right.
Man.
So yeah, that's a uncanny resemblance of those two. I don't think they're married. I think it's Eric and Lori. It's the Harmons, as in brother and sister.
Yeah, that goes above and beyond the top trendings on Pornhub of banging my stepbrother. Now it's I'm banging my brother, and
right, and she's
they're getting paid 3 times. Seriously, how much could they be making where they'd be willing to keep incurring all these court costs?
Sex sells.
Yeah.
Sex again. I made a joke a long time ago from our friend Plague, who actually had the porno about 2 midgets fucking in a dresser drawer. You would think that's a novelty. That I'm telling you, sex sells. You will watch the ugliest people bump uglies just because it's sex. It'll make money. No, I won't, but there is a niche out there for everybody. You know what I mean? I remember a viral video going around when I was a kid. When the internet was still dial-up. I remember a viral video of a girl sucking off a horse, and people watched it. You know what I mean?
Oh my God!
I remember that one
disgusting.
too. I just said nay. That's a nay for me, buddy.
If there's a kink out there that can be caught on camera, somebody's going to pay to watch it. It's just that simple.
Oh yeah. And who knows? These two might be independently wealthy. Maybe they invested in a little GameStop, and now they don't have to worry about money.
If they would have invested in GameStop, they would save their criminal record.
Nobody likes waiting in line, but that doesn't make it okay to threaten people. Customers at an In-N-Out say that a woman cut them off in line in a drive-thru at one of the franchise locations in Utah. After trying to get the woman's attention, they say that a man pulled up in another lane and threatened them with a hatchet.
He must have been a juggalo.
Because why not? Yeah. The incident occurred at an In-N-Out in West Valley City, Fox 13 now reports. According to the reports, a woman driving a silver BMW, of course, cut in front of two men who were already waiting in the drive-thru line. The woman reportedly did not respond to the men when they flashed their lights and honked their horn. Several minutes later, however, another car pulled up and a man got out. He allegedly used a hatchet to smash the window of the car that the two men were in. The suspect reportedly followed this up by showing the two men his bloody hand and telling them that their blood would be next. They're getting violent at the In-N-Out.
I'm not saying they're right or wrong, but I understand with as often as I get cut off here in Philly, because people just do not have any type of road etiquette whatsoever. Like this morning, I took Jen into work. As I'm taking her into work, we're at a red light. This fucking car, SUV, pulls up beside us in the bike lane. As soon as the light turns green, they cut right in front of me. They didn't want to wait behind me.
Oh, yeah.
That's all it was. And you brought up a point. You said BMW. Am I the only one that has noticed that the biggest dick drivers drive an Audi, a Lexus, a BMW, or a fucking Mercedes?
Well,
any one of those cars, they're going to be fucking dick drivers. Yeah.
That's just like saying somebody who drives a Cadillac drives slow.
They do.
Yeah, well, actually,
that's what I'm saying.
A Honda. I can't get behind a Honda driver.
Oh.
Serenity was I don't know if she still is. She was a Honda driver.
And I was not slow. I will say that.
Well, there are two types of Honda drivers. There are
Only
the
on
ones
dirt
that
road.
go 120 miles an hour, and they're the ones that go 15.
Okay.
I always get behind the latter.
Actually, funny story. I made the joke about she only goes slow on dirt roads. There is a funny story that to this day still boggles my mind when Serenity and I got pulled over at a stop sign coming off of a dirt road onto the main highway. We got pulled over by a cop because we didn't stop for a full 3 seconds at the stop sign. We were only stopped for 2. And he stopped us and ticketed her for 1 second.
Yes, I did. And
it.
explained to me that the tires have to be fully stopped and not in rotation for 3 full seconds before I could go. There's nobody on this deserted road. It's me and the stop sign, nobody else, but I did something wrong because he only saw 2 seconds of my tires not rotating.
Now, this was in Ellicott/Calhan, Colorado. So literally, they've got 2 cops. It's like Hazard. They got 2 cops and nothing else better to do.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of those. There are a lot of those towns around. But we got more important shit. Wombats, which are native to Australia, are known across the globe for their cuteness and their unique poop, which comes out in cubes. The geometric fecal phenomenon has long been a mystery until now. A team of scientists finally cracked the science behind wombat poo and published their findings in the aptly named Soft Matter Journal last month. According to the paper called Intestines of Non-Uniform Stiffness Mold in the Corners of Wombat Feces. What a name for a paper. One more time, called Intestines of Non-Uniform Stiffness Mold in Corners of Wombat Feces. Researchers from Georgia Institute of Technology, and University of Tasmania and Taronga Conservation Society dissected dead wombats, because why not, that had died after being hit by vehicles. And noticed, well, at least they were already dead. They get the roadkill. Somebody's got to do something with it.
So they were hit by cars, yet they're studying the irregularities in their bowels.
Right.
I imagine a car would make it very irregular.
They noticed that the guts of the creatures contain layers of muscle and tissue with 2 stiff areas and 2 more flexible ones. After creating a mathematical model to emulate how these guys need a hobby. Oh, wait, they have one.
Yeah.
To emulate how this gut might expand and contract during food digestion, researchers determined that after feces are dried out in the extremely long wombat colon, because this is what we all wanted to know, which 33 feet in length. That is a hell of a wombat colon. The stiff and flexible regions contract in tandem, sculpting the poop into its unique cube shape.
A cube? Wait a minute. Wombat poop is cubed?
Cubed poop. Yes. Yes.
Get the fuck out. I didn't know that.
You want to see some?
I want to see some wombat poop.
Some samples, please.
All right, let's see some wombat.
I'm just envisioning a like 6 guy here. Oh my God. That is crazy. It looks like the long Tootsie Rolls that are broken up in segments.
Right. That they do. That is actually how dice are made.
Considering I'm sitting here with a bag full of fucking dice, that scares me.
That's a talent. I have to say, that's a pretty good talent there.
You guys never knew that wombat feces was cubical.
No, I didn't. I always thought it was like soft serve ice cream, just droppings. But Jesus,
there is an episode of the Life Radio show from like 3 years ago where I discuss the shape of wombat poop. I believe the episode is called Cubicle Poop.
You know what? I remember uploading that, and I thought about listening to it because the title caught me, and now I'm understanding. This is a deep callback for you.
Yeah, that's a throwback from like 3-4 years ago on the show. It was with Adrian Miller. It was a fantastic episode. But there is your cubicle wombat poop.
Wow.
You learn something new every day. And what are we doing here if we're not teaching people the ins and outs of in and out hatchet attacks and wombat poop?
I'm telling you though, the biggest thing I'm taking away from that is I'm amazed some jobs that people have, like, you know, I want to study shit for the rest of my life. I want to study animal shit.
I want to be the guy that collects the roadkill wombats for the poop study.
You know, it's like the movie Clerks. If you remember when he's talking to the one girl and she's like, "It's important to have a job that you can be proud of. That's why I manually masturbate animals for artificial insemination."
Right. See, I just can't see the researchers going out and collecting the roadkill. So there's some redneck Australian out there that's going around picking up these roadkill wombats, and they're paying him like $20 a roadkill wombat. That sounds like a fair rate, just so they can study this.
Ooh, have a look at this one.
That's a beauty. That's a $25 wombat if I ever saw one.
That's a good accent. I'm impressed with
that. Was wow.
All right. Well, we're gonna go from square.
Crikey, this one's still alive.
It bit me on the nipple. Christ, that's not good.
Oh, that's that fucking beaver story a long time ago. A dude tried to pick up a dead beaver. It turned out it was still alive. Bit him on the nipple.
Oh yeah, that was a Jeff Foxworthy.
But it was a legitimate story. That wasn't just a joke. I looked it up. It literally happened.
Naked mole rats. Just no segue. We don't need a segue into naked mole rats. Known for their protruding teeth and wrinkly scrotum-like appearance, are highly social rodents with a wide variety of vocal dialects, a new study has revealed. On top of that, these rats exhibit, I'll get it out, one of the most human-like traits of all, xenophobia. Like foreigners. According to a paper entitled Cultural Transmission of Vocal Dialect in the Naked Mole Rat, published in the journal Science on Friday, naked mole rats live in multi-generational colonies under the earth. Each colony consists of up to 300 rodents, with a queen at the top of the hierarchy who serves as the only mating female. That's interesting. So they're like bees and ants.
Yeah, kind of.
They're mole rats.
I want to see a naked mole rat.
Specific roles, hold on just a second. Specific roles are assigned to all other rats in her domain, including soldiers that protect the entrance to the colony and fight to defend the queen.
They literally are ants.
Yeah, God save the queen. In order to communicate this in this sophisticated social structure, naked mole rats have developed distinctive colony dialects. So they have accents so they know when you're not from their mole rat colony.
So wait a minute, a woman's in charge. They all run around naked. They have their own dialect and they're very territorial
Wow.
of their family and property. That literally looks like a mole rat from fucking Fallout.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, well, there you go. Fallout is that's what they are. That's if you
and they're xenophobic. Okay, these are and of course they only fuck one female, so it means every one of them is brother and sister.
Right, and that female's name is Lori Harmon.
It tells me these mole rats are Southern.
Where are they from? Where do you find them? Where would we find mole? No, I'm not going to join their colony. I'm just curious.
I didn't bother combing my hair today. I'm sorry.
It doesn't give a location. Well, that's because they're xenophobic. They don't want you there, so they're not going to give you their location. They're not telling anybody where they're from.
The only thing missing from them being completely from like Georgia or something is that half the time they spend laying around naked watching NASCAR.
Right. That's the Georgia mole rat.
Georgia mole rat.
Watching NASCAR and drinking beer. Are you sitting naked in a beanbag chair eating Cheetos?
Oh, this looks disgusting. Roses and chocolates. Get your love some mac and cheese this Valentine's Day. Kraft is launching Candy Kraft mac and cheese, a twist on its classic mac and cheese with a candy flavor packet that turn the mac and cheese pink.
Oh, I've seen this. Yeah.
The new creation promises the same cheesy goodness with a hint of sweet candy. Sorry. I couldn't.
What?
Oh, this shit looks nasty.
Oh yeah, no more noodling. No more noodling on what gift to buy, Kraft wrote in its promotional release. There is no better way to show your love this Valentine's Day than saying you're the mac to my cheese with Candy Kraft mac and cheese. Kraft is giving the pink mac and cheese to 1,000 lucky recipients. To enter to win, visit candycraftmacandcheese.com. Let's share this disgusting family.
I'm telling you, before you put it up, oh, you already put it up.
I already put it up.
This stuff looks like anybody who has children understands. You give them a bowl of mac and cheese and like a cup of fucking Kool-Aid and they pour the Kool-Aid in the mac and cheese. That's what this shit looks like.
Yeah,
it is gross.
Wow.
It looks like a bowl of kibble you give a puppy.
Right. Yeah, that is absolutely disgusting. I don't think I think that's a swing and a miss there, Kraft.
Oh.
Nothing says love like fucking food poisoning.
Oh yeah. And pink mac and cheese. Oh
Lord.
Easiest. Most freaking nasty. All right. Let's
Well, wait a minute. Here's the question: is it the actual like macaroni and cheese that you get that you actually have like cheese you melt into it, or is it the fucking powdered crap?
It's the powdered crap. It's just like I'm sure it's just like your standard mac and cheese, only they put something sweet in there and it tastes like somebody ate a bunch of macaroni and some cotton candy and then got sick on a amusement park ride.
Do they have stock in Kool-Aid? Like, seriously. I think they partnered together. Gross.
Because it said the same cheesy goodness with a hint of sweet candy flavor. So it's basically the same mac and cheese, but they put that's probably what they did. They just got some of that the fruit punch Kool-Aid mix in the packet, and that there was a spill at the factory. And they said, what are we going to do with all this shit? Some asshole put the Kool-Aid mix in with the mac and cheese mix. What do? Let's hold a contest and convince a bunch of stupid people that it's delicious.
Hey, all I know is craft.
Seriously. Oh my God, that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Like, it was just an accident. Boom.
Because
Now we need to
nobody
do
creates
something.
something like that on purpose unless they're trying to make people puke. And if that's not something you have to eat when you're in elementary school on a double dog dare in the cafeteria, I've never seen anything like that. That's just
all I know is Kraft is going to get sued by Mars Company because they're offering mac and cheese with a thin candy shell.
right. Yeah, melts in your vomit, not in your toilet.
Oh my God.
But we'll go to something a little more our speed. A chimpanzee at an Australian zoo escaped from its enclosure early Thursday morning, but it returned to the exhibit without any intervention, officials said. The Taronga Zoo in Sydney said a contractor doing work at the facility spotted the male chimpanzee sitting calmly outside of its closure at 5:47 a.m. Thursday and alerted officials. The zoo's emergency response unit was activated, but ended up not being needed as the chimp returned to its closure on its own a few minutes after it was seen by the contractor. The chimp is safe and well and is being monitored by our specialist keepers and vets, the zoo said in a statement. Officials said the chimpanzee troop will remain off public display until conclusion of an investigation into how the primate managed to escape. I think the contractor was drunk.
I think the chimpanzee farted and the enclosure would not let the smell escape, so he just stepped out until it cleared.
Yeah, stepped out and had a cigarette.
Yeah. I had those days. Sometimes you just got to leave the room.
Every now and then. It's like people keep coming by and looking at me. There's not enough poop I can throw at them. I'm just going to step out and have a smoke. No, I think because if you read this story, the only person that saw this was the contractor.
So you don't think that the chimpanzee actually got out? You think the contractor just saw like some hairy kid hanging out in a tree and it's like, oh, he escaped.
Exactly. It was one of his coworkers. It was one of his subcontractors was sitting over there smoking a cigarette and he got mad and he wanted to get the whole zoo staff on this guy's ass to get him back to work.
Damn it, Larry, get back to work.
Yep. Bobby, put that cigarette out and get back to that shovel.
He thought it was a chimpanzee because Larry turned around and threw poop at him when he told him.
Right. It's as subcontractors are known to do.
I've worked enough construction sites. It happens.
Exactly. You've had some poop thrown at you before. You look like a man that's had some poop thrown at you from time to time.
I've seen things. I've seen nuts fly. I've seen raisins fly. I've seen green fly.
Yep, I've seen some shit.
That's it.
Okay, here's something we're all suffering from, I believe.
Mental damage.
Yes.
Okay.
New research published in the International Journal of Women's Dermatology reveals hours in front of video calls is leading some people to get cosmetic procedures. A team of dermatologists has coined the phrase Zoom dysmorphia. Dermatologist A. Shadi Koresh.
What?
I'm not going to anybody in any with the name Shadi.
It's S-H-A-D-I, so that's shady.
Okay, I'm not going to them either.
A Shady Karosh.
Gross.
Who works
That
at
sounds
Harvard
like-
Medical School and the Massachusetts General Hospital Department of Dermatology, created the study with her peers. Doctors say the images that we see of ourselves are often distorted and not a true reflection of what we really look like. For instance, I am much better looking than even this picture shows.
Yeah, I can't lie. What you see is what you get.
Zoom dysmorphia is used to describe people wanting to cosmetically change their features because of how they look on a video call. Karash, maybe Karach, I don't know. We'll call her a shady crotch.
It sounds like a suspect gynecologist. It really does.
Karach said all those hours in front of the camera are prompting many people to get cosmetic procedures. With Zoom dysmorphia, it's different because it's subconscious. We realize that with this obsessive video conferencing and a shift to remote work and remote social activities, basically life becoming remote during the pandemic, people were spending excessive amount of times video conferencing and confronting their own reflections in a way that wasn't natural, said Karach.
See, that again, there's no joke in my statement here. It just shows how materialistic and conceited this generation of people are, because like we're doing Zoom right now, and I have on my screen, I have 3 cameras showing. I have Sirenity, I have Don, and I have myself. The only camera I'm not watching is my own. I don't give a fuck what I look like. I'm watching you two guys in the conversation. You know,
we have both gathered that you don't give a shit what you look like.
I just got done saying I didn't bother combing my hair for the show. Obviously, I don't give a fuck what I look like.
I didn't either. That's why I threw a hat on.
But no, seriously, like if you're in a conversation, whether it's work related or personal related, or even podcast related, like we're doing, and you're spending most of your time looking at your own camera, you're conceited as fuck.
So what are you saying?
You guys are the only ones who pop up. Like mine is like tiny at the bottom. Like who cares? I see you guys. I ain't here to look in the mirror.
Right. You know, if I want to look in the mirror, it's in the bathroom over there. You know, I don't have to fucking, I don't know. To me, that is like the definition of first world problem.
Absolutely.
I got to get rid of it. I got to go see a dermatologist and get rid of this zit because I don't look right on Zoom.
Right.
You're the same idiot that stands up with a fucking selfie stick to take a picture of your meal at McDonald's. Shut up and sit down.
What is up with that, right?
All right, we'll hit one more. We'll hit one more, which is another danger of video conferencing. Sharp-eyed BBC viewers got an unexpected eyeful this week when they spotted something unusual on a bookshelf in the background of an interview.
My cat licking her crotch.
It was a penis. As Yvette Amos spoke with BBC Wales about job struggles during the pandemic shutdowns, the object stood on a bookshelf just over her right shoulder. It's not clear if the object was intentionally left there, but Amos seems to have a mischievous streak. And a penis in the background. Another shelf features the X-rated drawing game Scrawl. There's an X-rated drawing game called Scrawl.
We need
Didn't know that. And the door just behind has bloody handprints. Whatever the intention, fans popped up on social media. So yeah, she's got a lot of new fans because of a penis on her shelf.
Hey, call back. We were talking about buying one of those alien penises and putting it in the backdrop of our shows and stuff like that.
That's true. That's true. We were going to do that, but there it is.
Oh, okay.
Plain as day. Got bloody handprints.
She literally, I'll be honest, she literally found her way of dealing with the lockdown. That's all it is right there.
Yeah.
Everything is deliberate behind you. Come on, let's not be unrealistic.
That's not accidental.
No, sometimes it can be accidental. Like last week, my cat licking herself on the fucking bunk bed behind me. That I didn't.
Right. Completely intentional. You trained her to do that by you trying to lick your crotch.
Right? No. What is going on behind her? Whoa. It's like a ghost picture with maybe she played paintball.
Yeah.
On the ghost picture.
What I get from it is she was playing her X-rated drawing game, got horny, and decided to use her dildo up against the wall. So she had her hands up against the wall using the dildo, had it inserted, but she was on her period. That's the handprints.
Right. That's what I gathered. No, but nobody stores their dildo on the bookshelf.
I mean, I would.
I say no. I would say that
I would dress it up for Halloween.
I have my bookshelf right behind me. Not a single dildo there. They are all in a drawer in the other room. Jesus.
I think that it's hard and heavy, and it's a doorstop. It has to. I mean, like to hold up that many books.
Oh man, I don't think she's using it as a bookend.
I had the wrong image in that because when she said a door stop and I'm looking at his thing, I'm thinking of like the little spring that used to stop the door from hitting the wall.
It's just hanging on the wall. Door
Right?
Although she keeps it a little higher.
But it still goes. Brrr.
Yeah, and it's still.
Like that has to be permanent. That has been there for a very long time.
Why? Can you see layers of dust on it?
So that's not a temporary dildo, is what you're saying. That's
her
That-
husband.
I think they were married.
Yeah, that's her husband.
Is that Lorena Bobbitt?
I mean, if the
Could
guy
be,
from
could
last
be.
week, if the guy from last week can marry his blow up doll, she's married to that penis.
yeah.
And
Why
she's
not?
proud of her husband.
Yeah.
And
Look at the
Wow.
look on her face in the picture. Look at the look on her face. She's got her other boyfriend.
yeah, I
in
was going to
right
say
now.
she's sitting on another one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is very content.
Yep. The bad thing is with Zoom dysmorphia, the owner of that penis now thinks it looks too small.
Yeah, it's a little veiny.
Yeah, we do something about that.
It's a little veiny.
And that will end on a penis. That is the news buffet for this week. Thank you for coming along this fun ride with us.
That's like most men's lives. It ends at the end of the. Wow.
Hmm.
I think the biggest thing I'm amazed by with the news buffet, I truly amazed by the news buffet, is we do not run out of material.
That's not
I
even
wonder
all on
why.
the list I had. I had a list of other stories because I always like to prepare barely.
Yeah. Well, speaking of preparing Bailey, barely, as I stated earlier, I had intended to do the after-hour segment this week on the serious topic of the GameStop stock market issue going on, and we were going to have a guest on who actually understands the stock market, because I can't speak for Don, but Serenity and I have talked about this. Neither of us know shit about the stock market, so
I won't say that. I am a long-term investor. I am not a short seller or a day trader.
I have no idea what any of that means. I literally, I give you money. I hope you give me money back. That's about the extent of what I know of.
Well, a long-term investor basically is somebody saving for retirement.
Okay.
Anything else is somebody trying to make a quick buck by shit going up and shit coming down.
Yeah.
So I want to invest in wombat poop.
Right. Step into my cubicle.
There you go. Now I'm literally watching shit go up and down. But I mean, unfortunately, due to the circumstances, he is not here. So that subject is out the window and I have no back.
Okay. So check it out. All right. So speaking of investing, I invested in Disney when it was very low. It's more than doubled. Okay. And during lockdown, I've been watching a lot of Disney movies with my daughter, but today we are watching the movie, the Bee Movie, which came out, you could look it up, years and years ago.
Which actually
And
was a Disney movie. It was a DreamWorks, I believe.
You
Aren't
mean BEE, as in bees, not as in a bee movie? Because I'm in a lot of bee movies.
Yeah, BEE with Jerry Seinfeld doing the voice of the bee, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So I'm watching the movie, and remember the first Ariel, the Little Mermaid, had a little wee on the top of the castle, and and Aladdin, the monkey says, "All good teenagers, take off your clothes." Like, the little ins and outs of they subliminally do things.
No.
Yeah, well, yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
I know nothing about Disney movies.
Like Simba
nothing.
laying down. You know some of the things that Disney's gotten in trouble for, like Simba laying down and the dust spells out sex, or the cover of the Little Mermaid movie where one of the towers looks like a penis. Oh,
Never heard of it.
You've never looked into the Disney pedophile subliminal stuff?
No, I have not. I don't watch Disney. I don't watch Disney animated movies. I cannot remember the last time I watched an animated Disney anything, except when I was a kid watching Donald Duck. I just haven't.
Okay, so I was watching the B movie and I saw it in Chicken Little, the movie Chicken Little too. So I just sent the group the message of the picture. They actually
Yeah.
have the exact same thing as what happened. I mean, Don and Chris, you probably know more about what I'm talking about than I do. But basically, she's saying, I can't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
As the police officers have a knee in her back and are holding her. Okay. This is a very innocent older woman. And then you look at other movies that say the same thing, like 10, 15 years ago, movies that are saying you have to wear a mask in public or sanitize or stay 6 feet apart. Like, have you noticed any of that?
Well, of course, I watched The Simpsons, and The Simpsons have damn near predicted the last 30 years.
Okay, so let's talk about that. The Simpsons new episodes.
Do
you think that they?
Yeah, there's the picture there.
Interesting.
And this, what movie was this from?
The B movie, the Jerry Seinfeld movie.
And that was God, like at least 15 years before fucking the I Can't Breathe movement that started BLM.
Right, which I mean which wasn't the first person that
Well, obviously wasn't the first person, but the fact that they're doing, like, I just think that subliminal messages are out there, whether it be in music videos or whatever, but nobody ever like brings them to the forefront anymore. Like everyone's just says, yeah, we have subliminal messages.
If you want proof of subliminal messages in music and music videos, just look at every dumbass teenager and grown ass adult walking around with their pants half hanging off their ass and thinking it actually looks good. No, but you brought up something. You were mentioning Disney, and it reminded me of something that I shared on Facebook, which was reported back on January 25th. Negative depictions. Disney Plus blocks children under the age of 7 from watching Peter Pan, Dumbo, and other classics because of the fact that these movies, even though they were done in like the 50s, these movies depict. Let's see here. Disney censoring 4 of their classic films from the Disney Plus accounts of children aged 7 or under, citing what they described as negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures. Dumbo, Peter Pan, Swiss Family Robinson, and the Aristocats are no longer available for young users of the streaming service, according to the Mail on Sunday. The move is a follow-up to content warnings the entertainment company placed on some of its older films in October to provide context for characters that would today be deemed offensive. So, in other words, like with Dumbo, you had the crows that all acted like the I'm trying to find the crow.
Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
you get what I'm saying. You know?
Yeah. That this spoke in a certain vernacular.
Yeah. So I mean,
yes.
And I remember it pissing me off. I remember it pissing me off because I understand the sensitivity of it, but again, number one, take into consideration when the movie came out.
Right.
And second off, it's a fucking cartoon.
But that doesn't make it right. It actually makes it more wrong. If it's in a cartoon, it's not as funny.
When Dave Chappelle or Martin Lawrence can stand up there and tell an hour-long anti-white joke and nobody has anything to say, then leave the goddamn kid movie alone that actually didn't offend anybody. Like, okay, I come from a generation. I remember the movie.
How did the Aristocrats offend someone? I'm confused.
I'm not sure. It doesn't.
The
really
cats were complaining. Made them look like a bunch of pussies.
But you know, I remember the Song of the South, and everybody hated the Song of the South because it's racist. Because you know, the main character who was a black guy telling the stories of like Brer Bear and Brer Rabbit and all that shit, and would sing Zippity Doo Dah was an old Southern, I guess, ex-slave, and that was offensive to people. So they banned the whole movie in the United States.
Yeah.
Yet it's not like this guy was mistreated. It's not like you were watching a 2.5-hour Disney movie of this guy being treated like Kunta Kinte and Roots. He was just an old dude telling stories. Yeah.
Right.
It's ridiculous. People need to grow a fucking spine and get over this offensive culture bullshit. Everything. I'm not saying what happened back in the day to certain people and certain groups is right. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that that shit is long since over. Grow the fuck up.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of history. I mean, it's just, it is what it is, you know?
Right. I agree that modern day, there shouldn't be minstrel shows where modern day white people are fucking blackfacing. I agree that shouldn't happen.
Right.
But the footage of old minstrel shows should not be burned like fucking books in a Nazi parade simply because they existed. You know?
I wasn't really going in that direction with After Hours. I'm more like, okay, like, have you noticed the commercials on TV? Like, I've noticed for a long time that I talk about something and then I see a commercial on my TV for it. And did you notice that the commercials on your TV are now interactive, where like the car ones, you could actually choose the car and the color that you prefer on the commercial and just look at how it looks, do a 360 and everything.
Oh, everything's subliminal. Again, it's just like we were talking about back in the day with your phones and social media. You know, with everybody having ads on everything. And they listen to your conversation to figure out what they can show you because they think you have interest in it because you talked about it. Again, if we were sitting here right now on After Hours talking about toothpaste and we talk about it long enough, my phone's going to hear toothpaste over and over again. I'm going to see commercials about toothpaste on Facebook. You know?
Well, the only thing that upsets me is you have more people from the government listening to us have this conversation than we have downloads on the fucking podcast.
Right?
It's like we're trying to get out there and all we get's the government listening.
Hey, you know what? If the government's listening instead of listening to me on the phone, go watch the goddamn video on YouTube. You'll get all the information you want and we get a fucking hit on the fucking view.
Right, exactly. Have a, you know, help us out a little bit if you're going to do anything like that, you bastards.
Yeah, you're a public servant. Kiss my ass a little bit for my vote.
Besides, it's not really the government listening. It's well, I was going to say big business, but I mean that's who controls the government, so it's all the same thing. But and if you need any proof of that, like we were going to talk about the whole GameStop thing, look how quickly they acted to investigate that shit.
Well, the only reason they're investigating it, like they're trying to claim that, like,
because the rich hedge fund people were losing money.
Oh yeah, and
the hedge fund people lost tons of money, but the normal, average, everyday person made money.
Right, and that's what they don't like.
That goes against the set. And we
this is the land of opportunity if you're already fucking rich.
Let's talk about the hedge thing as far as I understand it, because some of the videos trying to understand what was going on, some of the videos I watched, the way I understand it, the people that do the hedge investing literally put money in betting on a company to fail.
Yes, exactly.
So these scumbags of the earth, like, and these are true scumbags.
Well, they're the same ones that tend to run up gas prices by betting that it's going to go up, and then betting that it's going to go up causes it to go up, and then we got $4 fucking gas prices again.
Right, but I'm saying like, what type of low life fucking scum do you got to be to want to not only put money on but help destroy somebody else's fucking livelihood, somebody else's business? I don't care if it's some corporation like GameStop or some mom and pop fucking grocery store. Right. You know what I mean? Like, who bets on somebody else's failure?
People that only give a shit about money.
Oh, fuck.
That's most of them.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
To me,
and then they have only so many options, and you know,
here's what I see happening from all this is, first of all, the government's going to act quick and they're going to make laws to keep this from happening again, because the rich people that have the hedge funds that are making all these bets lost money and they're pissed. And what's going to happen is, what was it, Robinhood, and there were a couple of these other brokerage houses that stopped trading in it, because pressure was put on them by the rich people that were losing the money. And there's going to be investigation. They're going to receive a little slap on the wrist. They're going to keep an eye on, keep a closer eye on Reddit and social media, where all this stuff started to go down, because basically people on Reddit were like, okay, they're betting against this. Let's drive this shit up.
Yep, but it's not over yet.
Right, it's not over yet. But that's what I see in the outcome of this. There are going to be laws to prevent it from happening again. The companies that stop trading in it, which is fucking illegal, they're going to get a little slap on the wrist for doing it. Maybe a little fine to them, little, a couple million, which ain't going to be shit to them because they're getting more than that from these hedge fund managers that were having a fit because they were losing all this money. So it's basically going to come down to where the little guy is going to get fucked again. The people with the money are going to make out like bandits as always. And there are going to be laws put in place because we can act fast on that when the rich friends of the people in charge start losing money. And the common people are going to just remain there. And in fact, the people that made money off of those stocks might actually incur some fines from having participated in it, and it's going to negate any gains they get.
Well,
that's what I see happening.
I'll tell you the two
They're
things
already
that will
talking
not
about
change.
that.
I will tell you the two things that will not change in GameStop because of this, though. You're still going to get a quarter trade-in value on a $60 game,
right?
and the game counselors, the employees are still going to make less than minimum wage.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter. The GameStop has a shit ton of money now, not only from their merchandising but now from the stock market.
Yeah,
they're still going to treat everybody like garbage.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean,
they made like $1 billion overnight.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, who makes $1 billion in a day and complains? I don't think anyone. I mean, those GameStop people are happy with Reddit, but I mean, what?
Oh no, it's not going to have anything to do with the games. This is the government that's going to step in on behalf of Wall Street and the hedge fund
They're going to
managers
put
that
more
lost money.
sanctions on
They
them.
don't. Yeah, they're going, and they're probably going to find a way to get enough charges and enough fines on GameStop in order to negate most of their gains.
and I guarantee you the government will find a way of blaming this whole entire action from Reddit and everything else on Donald Trump.
It's the idealism.
I guarantee you they will find a way of blaming it on Donald Trump or the rights, the conservatives. In some way, shape, or form, it'll fall on them because they've been painting them as the fucking evil causes of society in every which way from Sunday. So everything that goes wrong will go there eventually. I promise you, it'll happen. Quote me. Quote me.
That's
And
hilarious.
if I'm wrong, I will quote me. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat that.
Just as everything happens, the left will blame the right will blame the left, and both of you can sit in a circle and jerk off. It doesn't fucking matter.
Exactly.
Because we're still fucked.
But this is how sure
Right?
that will become the conversation eventually. I'm so sure of it that if I'm wrong, I'll eat that fucking pink mac and cheese.
You have to apply
You have to
win.
win. You have to win the contest to get that pink mac and cheese, motherfucker.
There's only a limited quantity that got spilled.
Right. There's only so much in that factory accident that they had.
And after the taste test failed because of COVID, they just had to put it out there.
Right. Can you do a taste test with COVID? Because I think that's one of the first things you lose is your sense of taste.
Right?
Maybe that's what happened. They're just banking on a lot of people with COVID symptoms are going to eat that shit and say, it's not bad because they can't fucking taste it. And I am going to blame that on Donald Trump.
Thank you. No, I don't have to eat this shit. No, but no,
That
like
should be the name of the show.
Yeah, I don't mean
mac and cheese, candy mac and cheese. I am going to blame that on Donald Trump.
That's exactly.
There are some things he has to take the blame for. God damn it.
That's it, but my statement isn't necessarily like a right or left thing. It's just it's going to be the pass the buck issue, which it always is anymore, especially nowadays. Instead of blaming it on what should be, which is corporate greed and the 1% screwing over the little guy, it's going to be blamed on politics. It's going to be blamed on whatever else. And of course, if you don't agree with it, you're a Nazi
here's the thing.
The
reason this isn't a political issue, because right or left, it's still the same wealthy fuckers that are controlling both sides.
Oh, I know.
It's still the Wall Street money that has their hands up their little fucking puppets in Washington. That's the problem.
Look at it
Let's
this
just
way.
all remember that the reason that this is happening is because the little guy and just the people sitting at home or whatever are invested in America, and they want to stand up and say, look what we could do.
Right.
I mean, it's a statement that if we stand together in something, look what we can make happen.
Well, see,
And
that's the way I take away. And again, I may not understand it 100%, but the people that started this on Reddit, quite honestly, I take this, whether it was legal or not, I don't know. Again, I don't understand trading stocks and all that.
It was probably legal, but it won't be for long.
Right.
right.
But at the end of the day, what I take away from this is literally people living the American dream. They took an opportunity, they ran with it, and they got what they wanted. That is the definition of being an American in America. They did it.
Right.
Congratulations to them. And
Yeah,
it's
all
Did anyone
the way up
complain
until the
about
government
Bitcoin?
steps in and takes it back.
Right. I mean, like Bitcoin went crazy, crazy high, and Dogecoin is going up. AMC, like things are going crazy. BlackBerry.
What is Dogecoin?
I still don't even understand Bitcoin. So
I've heard of Bitcoin.
I've heard of it. I don't
It's a
understand
cryptocurrency, but Dogecoin, can you just create whatever the hell you want?
Well, no, this one's backed by actual mined gold and silver, so it actually has more than the dollar. I mean, our dollar is
okay.
not backed by gold.
Right.
And
But the dollar's just backed by our own stupidity and gullibleness and willingness to believe that it's fucking worthwhile.
well, our
Right?
money used to be backed by gold.
Right.
It was-
Till Nixon. Nixon did away with that.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
appreciate
no.
that value of the dollar. And now with all these stimulus checks and everything else, instead of, that's why we're in such debt, because instead of, compensating for the monetary value of all that they're sending out, they're just printing more money.
Right. That's
So it's
all
yeah.
you have to
paper.
do. Yeah.
It's just worthless paper.
That's because they're going to make it fall and they don't care.
Oh yeah.
It's because they want us to go into that one world currency. That's the end goal right now, is to turn everything, get rid of borders altogether, get rid of all cultural differences between countries and everything else, including the money, and turn everything into one world culture. It's not
So we can all live in peace and harmony.
It's not going to work.
You're standing in the way of progress, Christopher.
I'm fine with that.
You and your voices, I could deal with that all day. Like, seriously. You nail them.
I am fine with that. But, I don't know. It's just every time I turn on the news now or listen to something, or not only, I know a lot of people compare today's society to like the George Orwell book of 1984, but I mean, like,
right.
Watch a Terminator movie or play Fallout, and you see the same similar scenario building up to the exact same thing, which is the world does this, China does that, or whatever else. And at the end of the day, we all wind up in some post-apocalyptic dystopian future. And it seems like that's just the world we're heading to. I had a conversation with
that's great. I'm gonna love the post-apocalyptic dystopian future. It's gonna be fucking great.
I had a conversation with my lead guitarist yesterday on Facebook. We were having a conversation about how politically, like everybody, like Don said, like left is blaming the right is blaming the left, this, that, and the other. And at the end of the day, it's really the extreme left and the extreme right.
Oh yeah.
And they're drowning the voices of anybody who is not all the way right or all the way left. People who are just conservative or liberal.
And here's the thing, Chris. To add to that, I've been a conservative Republican my entire life. I could not back Trump because he inflamed the far right. He brought those into the mainstream, and that's my biggest issue with him.
That's fine.
That's because that's when you go too far right or too far left, you've just fucking gone too far. And in this country, we're either so far right or so far left that what we've done is we've radicalized moderation. We've radicalized the moderates, the people with some sense that say, well, you're not all right, but you're not all right either. You're both fucked. Let's find a new way. And that's the problem, is you can't be moderate anymore, because if you're moderate, then you're just an idiot that doesn't know anything. It's like, no, I'm just not a fucking psychopath on either direction.
Let's go back to 2015.
Why don't they let anyone besides Democrat and Republican presidential candidates debate? You know, like the
Because
independent
if they get a
Jorgensen?
third party in there, that third party might not be controlled by the same money that both the Democrats and the Republicans are.
Well, there you go.
The more they keep us divided, the more we're not able to take the power back that we should have as a united people. They keep us divided for a reason, whether the division is black and white, whether the division is gay and straight, whether the division is Republican, Democrat, left or right. They want us divided.
And you know what? You hit a nail on the head. Don said something earlier. You want something to be blamed on Donald Trump? Here it is. Not that they would ever let a Green Party or a third party or a Libertarian Party ever be president beforehand, but Donald Trump being elected president and not being in control, being controlled by the government, by the powers that be, he was not a president who was bought and sold. Guaranteed, you will never see a third party president ever. It will never happen because like Don said, they will never allow somebody else ever again who cannot be controlled by the status quo.
Right.
We need to get on. Everyone needs to realize that we are Americans before we are Democrats or Republicans, and get on a third party candidate and push it through like they did with Reddit. Okay. Like Reddit was able to talk to 2 million members in one group, and that's 2 million people that all have a like mind about how they want to invest in Wall Street. And they decided that everyone short sailed and thought that GameStop would be horrible, and they're about to release financials. So they said, let's get behind GameStop. Let's make sure that we show them that we have an opinion that matters. So those 2 million people that were in there, maybe half of them invested. I mean, that's what they're there for, is to invest. So I see that if America did the same thing, but instead of putting money into GameStop, put ourselves in America, and we just say, you know, screw the parties, let's be Americans and agree on something for once.
Right.
Because seriously, I mean, I'm tired of everyone disagreeing.
But the problem is that division is there. For example, my brother, I love him to pieces, but he sees anybody without the same opinion as him as the enemy. He sees it that way. And if you're far right, you see the left as your enemy. If you're far left, you see the right as your enemy. And so long as we are divided and thinking the other side is our enemy, well, then both sides are going to have us by the fucking short hairs, and we're not going to be able to accomplish shit.
Well, see, you're hitting the nail right on the head, and that's something that bothers me the most about everything that's going on today. I don't care if you believe in AOC and her Green New Deal. I don't care if you believe in Donald Trump and his Make America Great Again. Those are great things. That's what you believe, right on to you. But being a conservative myself, being called a Nazi and a racist simply because I believe in less government and less taxes, it is ridiculous to me. Unless I'm sitting here and saying the phrase, screw all insert derogatory name for a minority culture here, don't call me that shit, because that's not what I am. That's not what I'm about. Just because I believe in a more Republican approach to politics than I do a Democratic view of it. I'm tired of always like this polarization that has happened in the last couple of years, especially, but it's always been around.
Oh yeah.
But it's gotten that much worse that if you are not exactly the same point of view that I am, you are obviously the worst person on the fucking planet. No, fuck you.
Right. And
you're
that's the problem.
Yeah, you're the one causing the divide with that mentality. Yeah. Instead of hearing my point of view, maybe you might understand why I have this point of view. And let me hear your point of view, and maybe I'll understand why you have that point of view. But at the end of the day, when the conversation is over, you have every right to believe what you believe, and I have every right to believe what I believe. But at the end of the day, when you turn around and attack me for my point of view, especially unjustified with things like racist,
right?
That's retarded.
Can't say retarded, you racist.
I don't care. I said it. I said it. I stand behind it. I stand behind my statement.
Yep, and that's such a fun word to lose too.
like queer.
What word are we losing?
Retarded.
Oh,
Well, it's like queer.
Yeah.
Like queer back in the day was something that was strange or peculiar.
Right. Unusual. Yeah.
Unusual, like the old timey conversations. Oh, Bob left his wife last night. Well, that's queer. Now
Yeah.
Bob leaving his wife, that's queer, means Bob came
Really?
out of the closet.
He left for another man?
Yeah,
Or how they used to call a cigarette a fag,
Right.
but
well, they
now,
still do in England.
Yeah.
yeah. So is queer still gay in England then too?
Yeah, because the LGBTQ, see, fag is a derogatory comment, regardless of how you look at it. Even though, like we said,
Right.
in England, you call a cigarette a fag, or a pack of cigarettes a pack of sticks. I don't understand that one.
Well, that's
fag,
because of the origination of the term fag is actually a bundle of sticks for starting a fire. That's where that comes from, and then it kind of it became more of a something burdensome to carry, and then it became, and that's the I'm trying to think of it's a pejorization, something I can't remember the actual term for a word that just becomes worse and worse. The meaning of it just keeps going downhill until it becomes a derogatory term.
which is how most like foul language words start. I mean, the word fuck actually originally it's an inception was an abbreviation and had nothing to do with sexuality. It was for unlawful carnal knowledge. It took on its sexual implications when it became fornication under the crown of the king, which is what it.
Well, let's do it the opposite here. Okay,
I've never done that wearing a crown.
Like, remember back in the day when it was like naughty to talk about poop and the word shit and everything?
No,
where now every single toy poops.
Yeah.
And there's the
no.
poop emoji and poop pillows and poop
And
is
every
like a
single
flower.
every single news buffet we cover one story on poop.
Yes,
Right?
yes, we do.
Poop has become such a hey, it's just everywhere. You know, like
they're studying cubes of it in Australia.
Yeah, people
my
actually
daughter
made a
got a
career
poop
of it.
hopper.
But no, you're right. I remember back in the day. I think about this all the time when I go to like a Walmart or anything else, and you walk through the toy section. You look at like the board games, for example. And when we were kids, it was Battleship and fucking Hungry Hippos and stuff like that. I literally walk through and see fucking like a toilet squirting back at you or Find the Turd. Like these are emoji poop things that are part of some fucking game thing. And you're just sitting there like, when did we become a society that's just fascinated with like the dirtiness of society?
Well, the poop fascination comes from the Play-Doh spaghetti maker.
Sure.
That's we all played with that, and we're like, you know what that looks like.
Well, not until we mixed all the colors. When we had the individual Play-Dohs, it came out yellow and pink. But whenever you wound up mixing them all together, it all became brown.
Right, exactly. Which I'm guessing if you eat pink macaroni and cheese, it's going to come out pink.
I hope it does. That's the only. That would be the main reason I would eat it. Is just so that way I could see what it comes out like.
Right. Well, what you're supposed to do is when it comes time for that, you're supposed to move your ass around and shape a heart in it, and then call her in and say, "Look at my."
And you got
That's
the
for
show off.
you, honey.
Then you get the show off who not only does the heart but does the arrow through it.
Right. That's the hard part. You got to eat something with a lot of protein so it shoots that arrow right out.
Oof. And feathers are a bitch.
Hey, the Poopsie unicorn was the worst disaster of my life. I mean,
The what?
seriously, the Poopsie unicorn. It was like Tickle Me Elmo for little girls in 2019. And you get it, you feed it, you shake it, like you shake the baby, like you have to shake that thing.
That's
within
a
a certain
great
amount of time, right?
You want your
And
child
you have
to
a time
poop,
limit.
shake
Yeah.
Shake it, and then press the button, and it poops out slime. But the recipe, the time, and everything are so critical, all within a toy that you can't control, that it's either going all over my carpet or it comes out in chunks like wombat poop.
Like what
I mean,
cubics? Yeah, cubes. Comes
yes.
out in cubes. Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, like, what is the obsession with things that poo? Just go to the store. I dare you to go to the store and not go down the kids' aisle and see everything that has to do with poop.
I'm gonna stay away from that.
Wombat poo is the closest you're gonna get.
Right. That's because that's entertaining.
Right?
And I wasn't reporting on the poo. I was reporting on the fact that there are people whose jobs it is to study it.
True, but at the same time, it's like we've talked about the dumbing down of we're talking about the dumbing down of society. Although there's intelligent people studying poop, we have children playing with literally stuffed poop animals.
Right. And maybe they will grow up to be the intelligent poop scientists.
Maybe, but I doubt it, because you look at the people who created all this great shit, all this great technology. They played with fucking pickup sticks and Jenga and fucking stuff like that, and now we got kids that are on their parents' phones playing fucking Among Us and Fortnite, or they're sitting there playing with poop emojis. The toys nowadays, honestly, the toys nowadays I've looked at, because I've got kids, they make no fucking sense. Nothing makes. My daughter was heavily interested in these foam fucking pieces of like cake and fruit and shit. That's all it was just squishy shape. Like she played with it for like 10 minutes and then wound up in a corner somewhere. And these things are like fucking $20, $25 a pop, and they don't do anything.
These stress relief balls.
Fuck that. Go out and scrape your knees. Go play tag.
That would be appropriate to poo while you're playing tag. So come on.
I heard a comedian the other day. It was Jeff Foxworthy, actually, talking about how like some of the things that we needed to eliminate from society, like picking up poop after your dog, because all these beautiful girls in the neighborhood are walking around with little poo purses and stuff like that. And it's like, you don't have to worry about a kid. Stop picking it up. It's fertilizer. It makes things grow. You don't have to worry about a kid getting stepping in it or anything, because a kid hasn't been outside since 1982. And it's right. It's true. There's a whole
kid also has a poop fascination. So if you leave it there, it might draw them outside.
Yeah, you might. Like a dead body, you just have to poke it.
Right, because you got that one neighborhood kid, that 10-year-old that already smokes. He's going to say, "Hey, want to see some real poop? Check this shit out." I mean, literally, this shit. Check it out. And he'll take all the other dorky neighborhood kids that are the ones sitting at home playing Fortnite on their mom's phone. He'll get them out and actually show them, and that real life experience of seeing real poop might change their thinking and the fascination of it, because honestly, it smells like shit.
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, technology is dumbing us all down to begin with. Like, I can remember the first ever phone number that in the house I lived in. I still remember it to this day. Don't ask me what my phone number is now. And I think about it too. It's like, not just the phone number, but in general, I used to know a lot more shit. And through the dumb down of smartphones and Google access and everything else, I stopped memorizing things that we used to take for granted back in the day. I am actually dumber now, thanks to technology, than I used to be before technology existed.
I noticed that.
You noticed that about me? Thank you.
How did he know what we were talking about, Don? Seriously. We didn't want to straight up call you out on it, but no.
Right. Guess we didn't know he was listening in.
You've been recording it, haven't you?
I reversed my cell phone. Now I hear what other people say. No, but I mean, has anybody else noticed that in their own lives? Like, as we become more dependent on the unlimited recesses of technology, that we've lost our own human abilities in some way, shape, or form or sense.
No, we haven't lost them. It's just we don't exercise them, because why remember a thing if you can pull up the video on YouTube showing you exactly how to do what you need to do? Why would you have to know how to do it? And that's the problem,
I thought about it
They
with
removed the Beatles Imagine from YouTube. And a few other songs, but I think they're back now. But they actually outlawed some of the Beatles songs on YouTube. So how are you supposed to find anything on YouTube if they won't even let you listen to a dang song?
They outlawed the Beatles on YouTube?
I think it had something to do with the copyright claims.
Yeah, I was going to say that's because somebody wasn't making money on it.
Yeah, probably.
Who owns the rights to all the Beatles song now that Michael Jackson's no longer with us?
I think it's a
Blanket.
Yeah, Blanket wasn't making enough money.
I think it's still in the hands of the Michael Jackson estate, but I think once the time is up, doesn't it go to the surviving Beatles? So basically Paul and Ringo, or
no, I think Elon Musk is in line.
Yeah, probably goes to Yoko.
Probably goes to Yoko.
Don't ever bring that name up. Seriously.
Yoko Ono.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh my God. That
Yoko Ono.
I can handle any curse word. Don't say that word, please.
Yeah, I think there needs to be like a study done on her, because I don't know if you've seen some of the shit she's done that passes as art.
I've heard that
some of the shit she's done that's passed as music.
Yeah, I was about to say I heard that Scream album.
Yeah. Right. I thought somebody was stepping on a cat.
Fuck, I thought that Lou Reed Metallica fucking album was bad. Fuck.
That's what they need. They need a Yoko Ono Metallica duet.
Oh, God, featuring
because basically after that Metallica is going to break up. She'll fucking destroy them too. Which,
you know what? Don't do that. Don't do that unless Yoko's fucking Lars. In which case, then we don't care if Lars gets shot.
Right.
Okay, let's just remember how smart they were when they came after. I mean, I know at the time everyone was pissed off, but when they said Napster, you can't put our music on there, and especially before we release it. Now looking back, everyone should have backed them.
All right,
seriously.
But that was their problem. It wasn't that Napster was sharing their music. Metallica had an issue with Napster releasing songs that were not yet published.
Right.
They got a hold of demos and were releasing it. They were spoiling the albums.
Yeah, the reports on it were totally different, right?
Yeah, and Metallica was perfectly capable of spoiling their own albums.
Yeah, well. Yeah, like to quote Dennis Leary, because again, comedians tell truth and we laugh, but it's the truth. Dennis Leary talking about, we live in a country where John Lennon gets shot in the chest, Yoko Ono standing right next to him, not one fucking bullet.
Yeah.
What happened to this whole ricochet thing of JFK? I mean, couldn't that have happened here? Like the one time for there not to be a conspiracy.
Some sniper curved the bullet like that fucking dumb movie. So it went around Yoko to hit John.
That should be the next movie that Stephen King works on. How he did the 11/23 movie with, I don't know, that guy from The Wizard of Oz. Stephen King should totally remake the movie of what our world would be like today if all this crazy shit that we think are conspiracies never happened. I'm sure we'd be really scared.
That'd be an interesting topic of conversation in general. Like we could have a topic of conversation one day on any of our shows, including this one, of like what we think the world would be like had Lincoln never been assassinated, had Kennedy never been assassinated, had John Lennon lived to create more Beatle albums. Like we could have those topics of conversation. It'd be kind of interesting to speculate what the world would look like now if those events never happened.
I'd have to do some meditation and get in the zone to get some ideas for that, because
got to contact Gwyneth Paltrow and get a steamed crystal to stick up your vagina to center your chakras.
As long as it works.
Do you have to buy one of her candles too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the vagina candle smells like Gwyneth.
That's horrible.
What is this fascination? I got one for you guys. What is this fascination with fucking whiny yuppies? I do not get, especially this spike in today's society for both the Seinfeld show and Friends, the spike of popularity in it. Why? A bunch of whiny New York yuppies. Not funny.
You mean like a new one? Like not just the shows that already happened that aren't on the air? There's a new spike in this?
There is a new spike, not in the shows. People are watching the reruns or buying the sets on DVD, but you're seeing the popularity in merchandising in it all of a sudden. Like all of a sudden, people are all about Seinfeld and Friends again. Why?
Because retro's cool right now.
But these shows were never funny. This was just a bunch of
I
whiny fucking yuppies from New York. What was so great about them?
I wish I knew, because Friends was a turd of a TV show. Seinfeld did nothing for me. I respect him as a comedian. His show, I never cared for.
I don't respect him as a comedian. I respect.
Well, here's the reason why. I never thought he was very funny as a comedian. His comedy was not my taste. But one thing he did that I respect the hell out of him for is when his show ended. For one, he ended his show. He didn't let it keep, which was already bad in my opinion, but he didn't keep letting it go downhill before he said, right. He went out on top, which is great. But the thing I respect about him is he did another 1 hour special, a Netflix special shortly afterward. But by shortly afterward, I mean, he started over. He was not doing his old material, and he didn't jump right in and do a 1 hour special. He worked on his material. He went to open mics. He went to shows. He practiced. He wrote his new material. He worked on it. He didn't take 10 years off of doing stand-up and then come out with a 1 hour special that was shit. Because here's the thing, I love Dave Chappelle. I thought he was brilliant back in the day. I still think he's brilliant, but when he came back from at 10 years and he did that first show, he was way the fuck off his game. He was not Dave Chappelle as we remember. That first special, now the second and third special he did was better. But that first one he did when he came back was shit because he had not performed comedy in fucking 10 years. Ellen DeGeneres, her special that she did, her 1 hour show, I watched it. It sucked because she has not done actual stand-up. Now, I thought back in the day, she was funny as fuck. Back in the 80s, she was fucking hilarious as a stand-up.
Well, Disney,
when she did her new show after not having done it in so long, it was garbage. And Jerry Seinfeld actually went through the steps because he wanted to see if he could start over and do it again with all new material and build it back up. And that's what I respect about him, is that he went back into it the correct way. He didn't just dive back in and said, I'm going to use my star power to get a 1 hour special. He said, I want to make sure it's an hour that I'm proud of. And that's why I respect him. Again, as a comedian, I've never been wild about his material, but as a comic, I respect the shit out of him because he did it correctly. Now there's only one comic that came back after 10, 15 years not performing that I think nailed it. And that's Chris Rock, because that fucker's a genius anyway.
I will argue the point as only. I mean, Chris Rock, yes, all respect to Chris Rock. Robin Williams did it too.
Well, yeah. I mean, living comedians that recently came out. Robin Williams is hard to fucking beat in a lot of things.
Well, like I pointed out Dennis Leary earlier, and it kind of goes to my point. When comedians, especially racy comedians, wind up in family shows or Disney shows, it seems to kill their careers to begin with.
Right.
You think of Dennis Leary with No Cure for Cancer and, stuff like that. And I mean, he was hard hitting and he was, controversial. And then he did like The Ref and all those types of things. And then he tried to make a comeback as a stand-up, and it didn't have the punch. Another one that we point that out
for a couple reasons. For one, he didn't have the same need. He didn't have the same drive. He didn't have the same ability to relate to people that he did before because he'd lived in a different world after that.
Right. Another one I was going to point out is Andrew Dice Clay. Clay was like the king of controversial comedians until he was doing Ford Fairlane and movies like that. And then when he tried to make a comeback, that wasn't Dice.
which, you know,
again, may not be a fan of,
which is fortunate because I fucking hated Andrew Dice.
Right. And again, I'm not saying that you'd have to be a fan of him, but you could see the difference in performance and ability to perform from one to the other. And again, that's why I go back to Robin Williams. He's one of the few that comes out of the Disney / family style movies and is able, like the fucking Weapons of Mass Destruction tour that he did, you know, was as hard as Live on Broadway.
Right.
From a guy who played the fucking genie in Aladdin, this guy still was able to punch it the way he does.
Yeah.
He, you know, and
he's hard to beat in just about any freaking category, honestly.
You know what? Okay, so I like Rebel Wilson, but I watched this show called Last One Standing in Australia. It's like 10 really good like comedians in Australia stay in the room and they have to try not to laugh. Have you seen that show, Don? You might want to. I didn't find it funny, and and I want to know, am I the only one? Because I thought it would be hilarious. 10 really good comedians doing their skits, doing weird stuff. I thought I would laugh. I don't know why, but this show is not funny. But Rebel Wilson brings in 10 really good comedians. I'd like to get your take on it.
Last One Standing.
Last one laughing. Sorry, Last One Laughing. LOL.
That's funny you mentioned that because I kind of have the same feeling when it comes to celebrity roasts. When we were talking about the Friars roasts and everything else back in the day, the Dean Martin roasts, those were
fucking awesome.
They were hilarious. And then I watched the modern ones, and all respect to Jim Ross, and of course the king of the roasts.
Oh yeah, Jeff Ross is funny.
And of course the late Greg Giraldo was an absolute talent and a beast. But the modern ones where it's all dick and fart jokes and as many offensive fucking language words.
Because most of them aren't comics.
It completely kills it. I mean, I would put Jeff Ross against fucking Don Rickles any day of the week, and Rickles would fucking own him.
Oh yeah,
without
absolutely.
One curse word. Without
Don Rickles was fucking amazing. I loved him. But yeah, the old roast used to be mostly comedians on the dais. And that's why it was funny. And now they'll have one or two comedians that are all shock comics. Because Jeff Ross is kind of funny.
Lisa Lampanelli's pretty funny.
What's that?
Lisa Lampanelli.
Lisa Lampanelli is garbage.
Yeah, I agree on that.
She is not funny. And I don't really care how much dick she takes. It's still a dick joke and it's still not fucking funny. And that's all she is.
That's all she talks about.
What's that?
That's all she ever talks about.
Well, yeah, it's not funny to me. That's the simple, dirty laugh that really does nothing but shock people. There's no thought into her jokes. It's all just, let's be the dirtiest, filthiest person I can fucking be. That's what I didn't like about Andrew Dice Clay, but at least he had some material. He had some makeup of his jokes rather than just took another dick. You know, Lisa Lampanelli is not fucking funny. But no, the problem is they'll have like 2 or 3 comics on the roast now, and then everybody else is a celebrity that has jokes written for them, and they all suck because they're not comedians. They don't know a shit about delivery.
Yeah.
When I saw fucking what the hell's his name with the clock, Flava Flav had a fucking roast. Why? Fucking why? And that's what I don't get. And none of them were comedians. What's the goddamn football player that was at his fucking roast? He's not a fucking comedian. What was it? The dude from Tampa Bay? Was it Warren Sapp or some shit like that?
Yeah.
What the fuck is he doing a roast? He's not an entertainer or comedian. He's just a big fucker that tackles people. Why? I mean, get back to a roast that's actually funny. The problem is comedy. They're Comedy Central roasts now. And Comedy Central don't know fucking shit about comedy. They haven't for a long goddamn time.
We finally broke on. No, I think to be a happy medium for Lisa Lampanelli, and this I'll go with this. Yes, she talks about her vagina way too much and nobody cares about it. But I think what makes her even more unfunny is that every other roaster that comes up that she's on the dais with, they all make the same fucking joke. How many black dicks Lisa Lampanelli has had in her?
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I think that's what makes it funny. I haven't watched her stand up personally. I've seen her on, I think, 2 roasts. And she does always talk about taking dick, but usually it's like people that have taken dick.
true. But I mean, you talk about Warren Sapp. I think the worst roaster I ever saw, and I think it was the Donald Trump roast, if I'm not mistaken. The worst one I ever saw is when they had Mike the Situation from Jersey Shore go up.
Oh God.
Oh my God, did he bomb? Oh, he
Yeah,
was
well, that's the thing.
horrible.
I haven't watched one in a long time, and I fucking can't, just because. I mean,
Of that.
That was
because of
like-
that, they're
terrible.
not fucking comedians.
Oh, they were fucking terrible.
They're not even funny when they're trying to be funny or
Right.
paid to be funny. Why would you want? See, yeah, they need to have just comedians up there, but like Billy Crystal's probably not available. So I mean, like, who are they gonna get?
Well, they used to be good enough that they draw the big names in, and now since they're such crap, their ratings suck, so they can't get anybody worth a shit to do it.
Well, why don't they get you to do it? You'd probably be the star.
He has
Nah.
to prove he's a roaster.
What's that?
He has to prove he's a roaster.
Yeah, I've done a couple roasts and they're fun, but it's not really my thing. I'm not a mean comedian. The only person I really make fun of on stage is me.
Yeah, I'd be completely down like to do an episode where we actually do a roast to somebody, like say for somebody's birthday or something like that. Problem is the only ones that would be good at it is Don. The rest of us, we're not comedians. We'll probably write some
We
shit
should do
joke.
a Valentine's Day roast of ourselves, like of each other. Like, you know, love you so much that it hurts. Like, come on, let's do something funny, fun for Valentine's Day. Don would lead. He instead of doing the news buffet, he could roast me.
The last roast I did, I was in a really weird place mentally and emotionally, and I was going to back out, but I did it anyway. I had like 3 jokes written, and that's all I had. The rest of the time I was just fucking mean.
Oh, you were Bill Burr in Philadelphia.
But if you're roasting Valentine's Day, you could be as mean as you want.
And the guy that we roasted, he requested it. He asked, which is like, that's the worst thing you can do, is ask for your own roast. It's like, who the fuck are you? But I love that. And he had like a handful of things that he thought we were going to pick on. Nobody touched him. We went for shit that was going to sting.
I'll tell you what, I'm down with it. If we want to do a Valentine's Day roast, I'm down with it. We want to make on the guest of honor or the maitre d', the host of it. I'm absolutely down with it on one condition: Don has to dress like Cupid.
Nope. That's out.
I don't know if I want to see him in a diaper. I'm sorry, but I respect Don.
That's not what you said the last time. You're changing your. Oh wait, that's sorry.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? You don't want Chris joining in? Gotcha. Okay.
What do you guys say? Hey! I got asked.
He would wear a diaper any day.
Just like Bill Clinton, I was asked a long time ago, is it boxers or briefs? And I went, depends.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think? Would you want to see a Valentine's Day roast here on Breaking the Fourth Wall Weekly? That's one we would have to have the whole panel. We would have to have everybody because everybody's got to be involved. That couldn't be 3 or 4 people. We got to have everybody.
See, the only reason I don't want to is I would be the main target.
No, you wouldn't.
No. We would be attacking Valentine's Day. We wouldn't be attacking like.
Oh, so roasting Valentine's Day. Okay.
We could roast Valentine's Day, but like in any true roast, we're still going to take a jab at each other too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You gotta mess with everybody on the day.
You know?
Yeah, just a little bit, but I'm talking about like roasting Valentine's Day or those stupid couples that post a picture together every single hour of every single day, and then on Valentine's Day they don't propose.
So basically, what you're saying is do the same thing we did for Christmas with the bad Christmas pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I'm down with that. Let's do that. Let's do it that way. Let's do a roast where, yeah, we'll introduce and we'll pick on each other, but then
we'll find the Facebook pages.
Chris.
We'll find the Facebook pages where it's the shared page between the two.
As a matter of fact, to our listeners, I challenge you guys to send us the links of people you think we should be roasting. Send us those pictures, send us those Facebook and Instagram links of the people you want to see us roast, and we will put it up on air and roast the shit out of them.
Let's do it.
I am down with that. That's a great idea. Now I'm sold on it. I still want Don in the Cupid outfit though.
I might surprise you.
You put it on, you might surprise everybody.
Oh yeah.
You got a beard coming out of that diaper?
Yep.
I didn't know they made Huggies that big.
Those are my big boy snuggies, is what those are.
Are they pull-ups? Hell no, they're Velcro.
They wouldn't be Velcro because every now and then you might hear a gotta check them. You gotta check them.
That's horrible. That's the only time in the shows Don will never need a break. He'll just sit there with a smile and we'll all know.
Yeah, you'll see this. What was the movie? Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. May I go to the bathroom first? Certainly.
The funniest part is he'll be sitting there, and this ain't a newspaper, but pretend it's a newspaper. This will be Don's screen.
Yeah.
Oh man, it will be better than the one that you didn't mute your phone.
I did not pee on air.
Hey, I think you did a little bit more than that in that bathroom. You ran out of there really fast after flushing.
Yeah, we're pretty sure you didn't wash your hands, you sicko.
Yeah.
There's a pandemic going around.
Look, I'm the only one that touches the microphone, okay? Okay, that looked.
Please don't do that again.
Yeah, that was just not appropriate behavior.
Serenity's thinking I got talent, and Don's thinking I'm kind of turned on now.
Nope. Not even close.
Okay, so I have a friend of mine that has a question for you, Don.
Uh-oh.
How do you wear a mask with your beard? And have you seen the new beard masks that hang down and give you some room? Do you know what I mean? Like they look like a jock strap.
It's always good to have something that hangs down and gives you a little room, honestly.
It's like the elephant trunk underwear, you know?
Right.
My friend wants to grow out a beard, and he thinks that he won't be able to do it because the mask will prevent it from growing long. Do you have any issues?
Well, mine was already long before the pandemic, and it's not comfortable. It's kind of like wearing a hat. You're going to have hat hair. You're going to have mask beard. It does happen, and that's where this part up here folds up, and you got to keep doing this shit all the time when you take it off. It's obnoxious as hell. But yeah, I haven't had, because I work in medical centers, so I have to wear it.
Yeah.
Every day, all day long, pretty much. So yeah, it's I hate it. It's a pain in the ass, but it's not going to stop your beard from going. It's not like you're caging it in or something and saying can't get any bigger than this. No, it'll keep growing. It's hair.
I got a question as a person with a beard myself, and you having a substantially longer one than mine. I have a bad oral fixation. You guys have probably
noticed with your microphone.
Well, no, not with the microphone, with my mustache. Like I get this one long hair that just won't trim, and then I wind up fucking like playing with it. Like, did you have that when you were growing your beard out? And if so, how did you break yourself of the habit?
I didn't do that.
I was gonna say,
when they get that long, I'll pull them off to the side until I get a chance to clip them off. Because I don't want to do the whole handlebar mustache thing.
Fuck that. You know how much that hurts? I've plucked my eyebrows. That's fine. I've plucked nose hairs. That's fine. pulling a hair out of your
Well, no,
beard,
don't
that
pull it out.
hurts.
That's just dumb.
That fucking
No.
hurts.
I have clippers that I go to keep the sides and the front down, and then I have a small pair of scissors that'll just snip across, and then
Okay.
you shape it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it daily maintenance or?
Not daily, weekly maybe. It doesn't grow that fast.
Thank God.
Yeah, Chris has been trying to grow his out since the beginning of pandemic.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I've kept my beard this length many times. I no offense to Don, I don't want a beard that long.
Yeah.
I want enough to keep my face warm in the winter, and that's it.
But here's the thing. I never, until a few years ago, I never kept a beard for any length of time. I would grow it out for a little bit and I'd shave it off, and I was usually clean shaven. And I started working at a job at a hospital, and I was hired in. I had the beard, and I told them when I hired in, I said, if it's ever a problem, let me know. Oh, no, you're fine. And about 6 months later, it's getting a little longer, and the boss says, that beard's getting a little long. I was like, well, like I said, if it's ever a problem, let me know. I'll shave it. I don't usually keep one this long. About 2 weeks after that, he called me into the office to discuss their grooming policy, which my beard, it was long, but it's not all over the fucking place. It's
Right.
not crazy. I keep it maintained. And their policy was you could have a beard and mustache neatly trimmed, no other facial hair. So the first thing I did is I looked at this policy handle. I started laughing. I was like, is this about my eyebrows? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, he had been going round and round with the higher ups, which I don't like to be on the radar of people that consider themselves higher ups.
Right.
But apparently he's been going back and arguing on my behalf with the fucking bigwigs at this hospital. So I'm like, well, thanks, asshole. Now I'm on their fucking radar. And what happened is they decided to change the policy because of my beard. And their policy after that became we could have a beard, but it could not be longer than 1 inch of length. Well, I was about to shave the damn thing off anyway. And I decided at that moment that as long as I worked in that hospital, I would never have a beard less than a fucking inch long. And that's the only reason I've kept my beard as long as I have, is because they pissed me off by changing the policy. It's like, all right, I'll never fucking shave it so long as I work here.
Oh my God.
But yeah, the wording is so stupid. You could have a beard and mustache, but no other facial.
That's what it said. A beard and mustache neatly trimmed. Is this about my eyebrows? And he just looked at me funny. I was like, did you not fucking read this before you handed it to me? And I thought about coming in the next day with my eyebrows shaved off. I'd look fucking ridiculous, but I'm the kind of dumbass that would do something like that just to make a point.
Well, some of those jokes.
Fortunately, I didn't.
Those jokes would work though, because it doesn't take long for eyebrows to regrow.
Yeah.
Ask any woman who plucks them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but shaving them off, I don't think they ever regrow.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Oh yeah, because I've been drunk and woke up with my eyebrows, and they come back. Thank God they come back.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but as long as you don't nair them off.
Now, getting that fucking Sharpie dildo off your forehead, that's a little harder to do. But the eyebrows do grow back.
Yeah. You wear it with pride, son.
That's it. Okay. You should have come into work with that on your forehead. That I'm to see what they say. Yeah. It's not hairy.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. Well, on that note, we normally would have some words of inspiration. The only ones I can come up with is never let your mom brush your hair when she's mad at your dad. Yeah. Children who have a well-balanced breakfast before school are the only ones to throw up in gym class. And remember that guy that said a bird in the hand's worth two in the bush ain't been sticking his bird in the right bushes. That's about as
And every one of those, thank you, Gallagher.
You're welcome. He knew where I was getting them from. He knew
you got to give credit where it's due, because every one of those is from Gallagher.
It is from Gallagher, and I absolutely give credit where it's due. But guys, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. Don, why don't you tell them where they can find the Life Radio?
You can find the Life Radio show at the life1069.com. I'm also on Linktree at linktr.ee/the Life Radio Show. You can find me on Facebook as Don Smith Comedy, or no, Facebook is the Life 1069. Twitter is Don Smith Comedy. You can find me on Facebook as Don Smith Comedy too, but that's my OnlyFans. And, and you know, everywhere else. I am everywhere. You never know. Look in your closet right now. I might be there.
You might. Oh shit.
I better check.
And Serenity, might as well let everybody know about the up and coming tinfoil hat, because I know you don't like giving out the other information. So you got a new tinfoil hat coming soon. Why don't you go ahead and let everybody know about that?
Yeah, listen in. We're going to be discussing some different theories about the Georgia Guidestones and population control. Conspiracy time.
Yay. And of course, guys, if you want to see Tinfoil Hat Society or any of our other podcasts, make sure you hit that like button, thumbs up, share, subscribe, you know, comment. We want to hear your comments, especially about the celebrity roast. I'm sorry, the Valentine's Day roast. That's what it is, the Valentine's Day roast. And of course, if you prefer in an audio only format, you can find us on Anchor.fm, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and all the places you can find audio podcasts. We have a link tree too, but unlike Don, I don't remember what the fuck it is, but it is in the description down below. So go ahead and hit it there. And guys, thank you for joining us this week. We should have a full panel next week. It was a fluke thing of time we had to record, which reminds me that this will probably be up before it is time. Make sure you jump over to the Life Radio tonight, because Mr. Don Smith.
It's not on the Life tonight. It's actually Ciphered Knowledge with Chrissy is going to be the show I'm doing tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, tell everybody to go check that. It's going to be live.
Yep, it'll be live at 8 p.m. this evening. Yep, Eastern time.
So go check that out, guys, and we will catch you on the next Breaking the Fourth Wall Weekly. Later. Why am I going to fucking hit